Welcome back to Benchmark. I'm Anshin Selvaraja. We're now going to take a look at the tourism sector, and joining me for this is the product head from Frontier Research, Travis Gomez. Welcome back to the show, Travis. Now, just to start off with, what are our expectations for 2018 as far as the tourism sector's performance is concerned?
So if you look back at 2017, really, what we've seen is that it was quite a challenging year, and actually we kind of fell short in terms of like the tourist arrival targets, and we just managed to get just slightly over 2.1 million tourists, and a lot of it was, partly it was because of some weather-related disruptions that were happening because of dengue and because of the flooding and things like that. So one thing that we're noticing is these things are becoming more frequent, and also it's going to become like a regular occurrence that these sort of disruptions are going to affect our tourist arrivals. Also at the same time, we're sort of seeing a slowdown from like the traditional tourist destinations from Europe. Particularly, there has been a slowdown, whereas though on the other hand, that's been compensated by other markets, like Eastern Europe is growing, then from particularly India and China are like the two main markets really. So really, I think for 2018, I think it's definitely going to be better. I think the sentiment is that it's going to be better. And though, I mean, what the hotel operators really need to focus on is to realize that this is now, there's this shift that is happening in terms of the demographics for tourism. So they really have to, bring up their game in order to, particularly given that the threat that is coming from the informal sector. I mean, they should not really see that as a threat. It's more like an opportunity for them, because I mean that's basically adding variety to the sort of the sort of activities, the opportunities that you have here. So really, they should really gear themselves to cater to this new upcoming market. So I think that's...
Now, Travis, for a lay person, the branding for tourism sector doesn't seem to be going so well, but we see online these backpackers who come down to Sri Lanka, they do their own videos using GoPros and phones and whatnot, and they are generating more interest than our official channels are generating. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, exactly. So one is in terms of we need to really focus and get what is our consistent image that we want to portray. Is it either, so I mean there are different views on it. So a lot of the traditional, the hotels, I mean they basically still want to like focus on that sunset and beach. But really, if you take like the sort of tourist attractions that we have in Sri Lanka, apart from like snow and snow related activities, we have almost everything to offer here. You have the ancient cities, you have the wildlife, the ocean, you have everything here. So I mean they have to like get that branding right in terms of what is Sri Lanka going to be known for, and how do you position it.
Now, Travis, there was this issue that was highlighted recently, but it's an issue that has been happening for a number of years now, and that is hotels and guest houses refusing service to domestic tourists. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because keep in mind, during the off-season, it's the domestic tourists who go and visit all these places and spend their money.
Yeah, exactly. I think the authorities need to pay more attention to this. So even in the last budget, I think what the budget really acknowledged was that the informal sector is now playing a bigger role. So now almost like 50% of the available room capacity is now coming from these informal, these supplementary hotel establishments. So really the government does need to play because it's come to a point where the government does need to step in a bit. So actually with the budget, the government said that they want to like register some of these establishments and make sure that they are at a proper standard and things like that, which is a positive thing. And through that you can kind of prevent these sorts of things from, because you definitely need the local participation as well, because given that it's seasonal, because a lot of the tourists who are coming to those down south areas, there's a seasonal impact. So during the off season you definitely need more local participation.
Thank you very much for joining us, Travis.